You ever get scared?
Like jump scare maybe. Yeah.
No, but like like I'm just talking about like you're wow, I'm in this moment. I'm actually afraid right now. Afraid for my life, or afraid of this person, or afraid of this. Like
I'm trying to think of the last time I was like genuinely
like fear
afraid.
struck. Like you're paralyzed by fear. Like, what do I do right now?
This might sound bad. When I watched our dog get hit by a car, that was the last time I was actually fearful.
We just discovered you had a dog, and now he's gotten hit.
It got hit, and
Penny?
Penny's still alive, totally well.
How fast was the car going?
It was going like 50 miles down the street
In a neighborhood.
in an SUV, and they said it was going so fast. That's what saved our dog. It pancaked her. Like, I grabbed her. This is a true story. All of our neighbors and my kids saw the whole thing. They're screaming. I'm crying. I'm telling our boys, say goodbye. We're taking her to go.
Is Penny coughing or just like?
Oh, she's shaking. She's like fully. I'm thinking
It's gone.
This is it.
This is it.
We go to the doctor, and
you rush to the hospital.
We're rushing. I'm crying.
That's not real.
I'm dead serious.
So you really love this dog?
Well, I just felt bad for the kids. The dog,
Okay, so it's more about the kids than the dog.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm like, this is trauma inducing.
Oh my gosh, 50 miles an hour, Penny's underneath.
Yeah, truly.
Okay.
And we get there, $2,500 later, and they're like, yeah, she just here's some pain meds, but she's all good.
Oh, because the car was going so fast, she got smushed like so tough,
flat.
Oh my goodness!
I thought it was a miracle. The day after
that
Thanksgiving,
is tremendous.
Our neighbor's kid still thinks that it's a new dog. Every day, yeah.
That's not Penny. It's Penny 2.0.
Seriously, that's not Penny. You guys got your dog.
Your dog's gone.
We said bye.
What kind of SUV drives 50 miles an hour?
What was it, residential.
What are we talking?
Yeah,
suburban?
it's like a suburban.
Big suburban. Black?
Mm-hmm. You know the one with the white numbers on the back? I don't know what they mean.
Oh, yeah. The white numbers on the back means we're going to the airport.
Yeah.
That's an airport
shuttle. They're probably
running
late for
sure.
Yeah,
they're going to the airport. Oh, my gosh. The last time I got scared was I woke up in the middle of the night about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I thought I heard somebody, and I started just going through all the scenarios in my head, like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, what do you get up?
Yeah, I had to get up. I have to get up, but it's like how your ears never more in tune than this moment right here. You could hear anything, and so I'm trying to listen, and I'm just through the scenarios like, what weapon do I have? Do I have anything that can inflict pain? What's the best weapon I got is my vocal cords. What about my boys? What about Georgia? I think the strongest person in our family is Julia. How fast can I get her to wake up? Can I convince her to go fight this person?
What's the first thing you're saying? Are you like, in the name of Jesus, get out my...
Yeah, I always think about the name of Jesus. I always think about that. That's definitely a calling card. But eventually it's like, I what do I hear? Do I hear something? So then I get up and I'm because now I got to walk quiet.
Because now you're on the offense.
Yeah, I'm trying to startle somebody. You know what I mean? And so now I'm walking quietly. I get, eventually what's discovered is there's nobody out there. But for a while, I'm like, what's up?
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. You want to find out? You're going to learn today. Like, what? I was ready.
Saying all sorts of stuff.
I had to start to psych myself up.
Yeah. Let's go.
In case of emergency.
It's the washer dryer.
But I was fearful. You know what? I genuinely don't know. It could have been one of my boys. Genuinely
coughing.
I don't know. That's the other thing. I go through all my cameras. I can't see
that's
anything.
Scary. Is your heart just pounding going through?
And I have no history because it'll show you action. So I'm like, what is that? And are they in a place I don't have a camera? I got a lot of cameras.
Blind spot.
You know what I mean? Are they on blind spot? Do they know my blind spots? Your brain is running. 5 seconds ago, I was asleep. Now my brain's running.
Full on.
Because you know what I had to get into? Leader mode. Let's go. Welcome back to another episode, Leaners. We are a podcast and a nation called Leadership Lean In. I almost called it Leaner Nation right away, but it's a leadership lean, and we are a nation of leaders. Thank you, everybody that subscribes and likes and comments. It means the world. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel or Spotify, wherever you stream it in. Just glad that you're learning with us and growing with us. And I want to say a huge thank you to all the leaners that bought my new book. I bet you think this book is about you avoiding the pitfalls of pride in order to gain the rewards of humility. Thank you to everybody. And I want to ask you, if you're a leaner, go to Amazon and write a review. Hit that 5-star like you were in an Uber. Hit that 5-star like you got a DoorDash. Hit that 5-star and then write a review. It means the world to us, and it helps us so much. So if you can do that, just signed about, I don't know how many books here today for a good friend that bought it for his whole company. And so thank you for bringing your team through it. And I'm just praying that as you read it, you're encouraged and you're inspired to walk humbly, to lead with humility, and go to another level. I'm fired up for today.
Let's go.
I'm fired up for today. I'm talking about today, created for connection.
Love it.
And just talking about this idea that you were not created to lead disconnected, but you were created, designed by God for connection. In fact, I believe the two greatest commandments are love God, love people. And we can just use that word, connect with God and connect with people. And probably the most important thing when it comes to connection as a leader is language. I'm always thinking about in Genesis 11, there's a story about they were building this tower, and they were unified and they were going for the same thing. And in order for God to prevent them building, he messed with their language. In other words, if I'm not on the same page with you, how could I build with you? So he brought disconnection. As soon as they were disconnected, the establishment stopped. I got to be on the same page, same mission, same values, same heart, same desired results. And the more that I do that, the more I connect with that, the more I can build. And I love this about kingdom culture. I love this about Jesus. Jesus says to us, John 15, remain in me, connect with me, and I will connect with you. And I just think there's such a value to being connected. It's underrated. Just because I'm doing a podcast with you doesn't mean I'm even connected with you. We got to get at the heart level.
That's right.
We got to talk honestly, transparently. Your dog died. You replaced it. You lied to your children. You lied to your friends' children. That's okay. You're being honest. You're confessing that you lied about your
the
dog.
whole nation.
It's great that the nation's discovered that you're deviant and duplistic in your tendencies. But we love you for who you are.
That is a wild thing to say. I love this story out of Genesis chapter 11. Where there's connection, there's forced movement. There's forced growth.
Yeah.
Whether it's people being connected towards a good thing or a bad thing. And I think that's so key in leadership is that if you're connected, in this story, unity is unstoppable, but without God, it's unstable. And so you see them grow, and as soon as it's without God, it can't go anymore.
That's right.
And that's like where the true growth in unity is when is this idea of connection. We could have this podcast level where you're saying you can have proximity with someone.
No connection.
But no connection. That's like how many spouses, how many homes, how many businesses you show up to work, but you're just in the room together, but there's not connection.
And I think that's part of being a leader, right? Is facilitating connection, leading with the desire to connect, not just speak at or to speak to, but to speak with. And I think that becomes an art form. I want to talk about 4 things that hurt us when we're disconnected and 4 things that bless us when we are connected. The first one, number 1, and the problem with disconnection is we're discontent. We're just so unsatisfied. We're so just like, I don't feel happy about my marriage. I don't feel happy about my friendships. I don't feel happy about, because when I'm not connected to the source, when I'm not connected to the relationship or the mission, I just feel like, man, why am I so unfulfilled? Why am I so unhappy? Well, a lot of it goes back to you're not connecting.
That's right.
You're not connecting to God, or you're not connecting to others. And the moment you start to connect, the moment you're like, oh,
that's right.
I've been missing that. The second one is distortion. This is what's crazy, is the more I get disconnected from something and the more distant I get from something, the harder it is to see it for what it is. So I always think distance brings distortion, or distance disconnection brings distortion. The closer I am to see something, the closer I am to somebody, I can see them for who they are. The further I drift away and the more we're disconnected, I can't see it for what it is or where it's going or what it's about. I can only see weakness. I cannot see strengths. So I always think it's my joy and thrill and commitment to be in proximity with others because I can see them for who they are.
So good. I think that's where gossip happens.
Yeah.
Is you're disconnected, but you hear something, and now your whole view of them is distorted. If you just actually sat down with them and heard their story, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, it's so
much
funny.
context.
You know, I feel like I'm the recipient of so many backhanded compliments. I feel like I'm just a walking target for people to tell me what they really think about me in a subliminal way. Like, you know, this guy recently, I was doing a podcast with him, and he's like, you know, when I first, you know, got to know you, I had this idea of you, and you know, you're this guy, and you got all this, and he started to use all these words, and he's like, but then, man, I get close to you, I get to know you, and it's like, man, you're a good dude. I was like,
What about you?
oh man,
You're preaching so much better than it was.
it's just like, wow, man. Hey, so is this my part where I say thank you?
Yeah, what?
So you thought all these things because of what? Okay, so yeah, man. Well, I'm just gonna grab the positive out of that. You know,
Yeah,
like
thanks for seeing me who I am.
but it's distortion. It's distance brings distortion. So what can you do? I've been talking about this. Keep living your genuine, authentic life. That's all you can do. The third thing is discouraging. When I'm disconnected, it's kind of like, have you noticed on your iPhone battery how quick that thing can drain?
Yeah.
It's like, and it jumps, man. You think you're at 35, all of a sudden you look down 21. It's like, what?
I swear it just does that. It just jumps that
what?
whole.
And nothing discourages us. Nothing takes us out like disconnection. And it's like, wait, why am I not? This is why I got to take my wife out on date night.
That's right.
All these kids robbing me of my wife. All these kids taking my wife and they're cuddling with her and they got her attention. I need some attention. And then I might be discouraged about where we're at and we're not on the same page. Then we go out and we spend 2-3 hours together and it's like, oh, I love you. You're amazing. Wow, this is, and I went from discouraged to encouraged all through connection.
That's right.
The last one, number 4, is depleted. You just get tired. You get drained. That battery's going down. You're not excited about what you're working on. You're not excited about the future. You're just depleted. This is all from being disconnected.
That's right. I wrote down in my notes for depletion, I wrote down exponential exhaustion.
Oh,
It starts tired, and then all of a sudden it feels like I can't even get close. I don't even have any motivation to get connected again. I feel so tired now.
yeah. It was so funny. I was talking to a friend last week, and he was in such a bad place a couple years ago that he was saying, my mom was reaching out to me, my friends were reaching out to me, and he goes, I was so low I couldn't even text back. And you just get disconnected from your vision, from your calling, from your friends, your family, and it's like all that just takes you down to a place where it's like, my battery's at 1%.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to fire up, but I just can't. So all of that changes from being connected, I think, vertically, horizontally. I got to get connected with God, and I got to get connected with others. So here, watch this. 4 joys of connection. Number 1, relationship. And I just love this one because relationship is everything. Relationships are worth fighting for. Relationships are what makes the world go round. I'd rather be rich in relationship over anything else. The happiest people in the world are not happy because of money. The happiest people in the world are happy because of relationships. Relationship trumps everything. I would choose relationship over anything. Relationship is the main thing. And when I connect with my people, my crew, my staff, my team, my world, my spouse, my kids, that's the greatest fulfillment.
That's right.
It's the greatest joy. So you got to get connected for that. Number 2, momentum. All of a sudden now, I went from not being able to text back in that 1% to now it's like, I'm
go.
firing them off. I'm excited. I got some momentum. How'd you get so much momentum? Well, crazy enough, I had a coffee with somebody.
That's right. That one meeting.
Wait, what happened? What changed? I had a great conversation. It's so funny. A few years ago, Julia and I went to breakfast with Pastors Judah and Chelsea Smith. They're just the greatest. Julia had just. I remember this because Julia had just broken her foot. She was doing an exercise in our backyard. She stepped about down, 2.5 feet and broke her foot. How does this stuff happen to her? I'll never understand. Crazy. And so we went to breakfast, and when we were leaving, we're on Fairfax. We went to John and Vinny's, low key, underrated breakfast. John and Vinny's
Yeah.
a killer
What?
breakfast. So we're leaving, and we're waiting for our car, and she's glowing. And I was like, what, like, you good? And she's like, man, that was the most life-giving. She's like, what is it about one meal with friends that it just fills my tank? And I was like, I could just see momentum
It's amazing.
was in her sales that fast.
Yep.
And it's like, that's what a connection with somebody you love, someone that matters, someone that means something to you. You got to be connected. Here's the third one, energy. That's what Julia was sensing. It's got that energy. Connection brings that vibe, that aura, that excitement, and that, wow, now that we got that ability to win. You know what's been amazing? Watching these Dodgers play baseball.
Oh, it's so fun.
And you look at what happens when the game's going bad, how quiet a stadium gets.
Oh, man.
You see how nervous a crowd gets. Baseball's crazy because they hang on every pitch.
Every single one.
And a hit can change the whole atmosphere. A connection can change the whole trajectory. A couple games ago, we're in the first inning. We have one out, runners on second and third, and we don't get a runner in. They start the inning, the Mets, and they score a bunch of runs. And it's just like, if we would have scored one or two runs,
that's it.
the whole attitude's different. You got to find connections because it brings energy. And here's the last one, number 4. It brings fulfillment. You're fulfilled when you connect. I think probably the scariest, most panicky that I get, besides 3 a.m. and there's someone at the door, I get panicky when I feel disconnected.
Yeah.
But I feel so fulfilled when I had a good meal or a good
That's right.
conversation or a good coffee or a good meeting. It's like, all right, I just need to connect with them.
Yeah. How many stories have you heard? Super Bowls won, pennants, rings, all sorts of stuff for people to say, but I didn't have anybody to share it with.
That's it.
You can get all the results, but if you don't have anyone connected, it really
Well, it's
doesn't
kind of
matter.
like a family meeting, right? People don't like family meetings, but I heard someone say one time, a family that never meets together never scores a touchdown together.
That's great.
You think about a football team. What do they do after every play? Huddle.
Yep.
What are we doing? Connecting.
That's right.
We're getting on the same page. All right, that didn't work, or that did work, whatever, fill in the blank, but we're connecting. Okay, and then let's go attack. Think about if your family, you never connect. How are you going to win a touchdown?
Yeah.
How are you going to score a touchdown together? If your team, if your marriage, if your organization never connects, how can you attack? We're not on the same page. So nothing is more fulfilling. You think results are fulfilling? I think it's the connection. I connected with them. Man, we had a moment. We really connected. We really bonded. We really gelled. We really meshed over that. We really had a moment. You start walking in that, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm feeling energy. I'm feeling momentum. I'm feeling fulfilled. I'm feeling like we got good relationship. That right there is leadership. We love you. We are rooting for you. Get onto your Amazon and write the review. We love you, and we'll see you next episode.